Hello everyone, and welcome to episode/stream number 3 for our Presearing warrior, and we're now in Fort Rannick and about to head on to do some hunting. Let me quickly set up everything on my screen how I like it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit level 7, that's the goal for today, and then we'll head into Northlands. I hope you can hear me pretty well because the microphone's standing in a slightly different spot, but that should be alright. We're gonna go hunt at the same spot I was before. We're gonna go for the spiders because they're level 3 and they're decent XP still at this point, even though ones keep giving us XP, which is pretty good. We're gonna do one big loop around Regent Valley, or at least half a loop. I've been thinking about the build that I plan on using, and I think we're gonna switch to bows, as I said before. And the reason for that is I think they are safer than the melee build, at least in terms of, you know, we get some range between us and the monsters. We will lose the shield, but starting at level 10, and by switching the build I mean at level 10, because that's when we can buy abilities and we don't have to do quests for them. Starting at level 10, we will get a buff that I made a whole video about. It's called the Vanguard Initiate, and what it does is it sets your armor to a static value, and that one boosts your armor far farther than what you could achieve in Presearing with the armors available here. It scales with class a little, so warrior gets the most armor, being the tanky class here. And I think starting at level 17 up, we will get 70 armor, and without the buff we have our 27, so that's a huge increase. Roughly 40 armor means halved damage, so we will have a little bit over 40, so we will be getting, as I said, half the damage that we would normally get when compared with our armor gain. And that also ignores shield-based armor. That's why I don't have like an extremely good shield at the moment, which is why I'm just gonna ignore it, and we will stick with the bow. The bow is also automatically far better damage than what we get in Presearing for other weapons, because it's a bonus weapon, and I don't want to buy any gear for now. So the the difference is that we are warrior and then ranger, and not ranger then warrior, which is the general build people go for. So what are the differences, what we are winning, gaining, and what we are losing by going warrior/ranger? The first thing you gotta look into is the primary attribute. For warriors it's strength, and for rangers it's expertise. So expertise is one of those very common energy manipulation attributes. It makes some of your skills cheaper, and it's a very good attribute here in Presearing because you get to spam a lot harder. Plus, one of the bow attacks scales off of it, so as a warrior we will not be able to use that attack to its full potential. The skill is point blank shot, which I'm not a big fan of because it halves your range, but it does increase your damage, and without access to expertise we will not be getting that much of an increase. Basically 0 additional damage. It will be like +2 or 3 maybe, at the cost of having our attack range. But what we're gaining instead is strength, and strength gives us armor penetration, and how you can look at it is basically a 1% DPS increase per strength point. So if we go, for example, not DPS, just damage. If we go, for example, for 8 strength, we will have 8% damage increase, which might not seem like much, but I think it's pretty good. Still, I think having expertise would be better. First of all, for that skill I mentioned before, and second of all, warrior's energy is very, very low. Our regeneration is minimal. We get 2. This is the lowest out of any profession. Even rangers get 3 regeneration for their energy, and I think they have 25. So we might get starved for energy a lot. So I think in this regard, ranger wins, but strength has its uses. The straight up damage increase is very good, and we might be auto-attacking a lot, just not using that many skills. Now, the second thing is armor, and actually armor is less important here than the scaling of the Vanguard Initiate buff. And at level 17 plus, which will be relatively soon and for the most of the time, warriors scale up to 70 armor, and rangers scale up to 55. So that's quick maths 15 armor difference, which means decently much. Now, warriors also get a plus 20 defense versus physical, and rangers get plus 30 versus elemental, and I think there is more elemental damage here than physical by a little bit. So rangers still manage to round out the difference just because of their inherent armor bonus modifier, but we will I think generally we will get on top, and when it comes to elemental damage we will be even. So when it comes to armor, warrior primary wins out because, as I said, we get better defense against physical damage, which is the melee, char, and the hunters, and we get equal armor versus elemental damage, about equal, let's say. I just don't know off the top of my head which profession wins by, and whichever wins, it's by a very small margin. Okay, so the last thing we could talk about is insignias and runes. So if we go for a bow build as a warrior, we are at a we are at a pretty big disadvantage here, because we cannot use ranger runes, and that means we are losing out on +2 to marksmanship, which is a big deal. The best warrior rune that we can use for our head is plus strength, which is just +2% DPS increase, as I mentioned before, whereas +2 marksmanship would have been a huge DPS increase. But that's what we gotta do. So I'm gonna go for 2 helmets and have them on swap. When we are playing our bow build, I will be rocking probably plus strength. I can't find any other attribute worthwhile. And when we are going for axes, we will obviously use axe mastery. That will be our DPS increase. Now, we are generally screwed further with the rune department, because the attributes we will be pumping points into are marksmanship, and then wilderness survival, and then the rest into strength. So the strength is just the third one we want to put into, and our main 2 ones are marksmanship and wilderness survival, and we cannot put points into any of those. We want marksmanship obviously to deal more damage with our bow, and wilderness survival for our troll unguent and for ignite arrows. If we get any leftover points after strength, which will be like maybe 1 or 2 points, we will put it into beast mastery. So we cannot get any of those on our runes except strength, which, as I mentioned multiple times, is a very minimal difference. So we will be able to, we will have to pump the rest into other runes. So what other runes do we have? There is Vigor, which is a fantastic rune and pretty much must have for every profession, which gives plus 30 health and it does not stack, so we can have one of those. Let me quickly, let's just pump this into strength for now, and then we will be putting more into Axe Mastery. And I think we can actually go to Ascalon and start preparing for Northlands. What was I talking about? I completely lost my track. Yes, other runes. So one of those will be strength during our bow build for our helmet, and one of those will be vigor, probably on chest, because why not? And then the other three will be either Vitae, which is plus 10 health, or maybe we'll put a rune into plus 2 energy, because the warrior's energy is terrible. We might also switch out the shield when you... let's finish talking about the bow build first. And as for insignias, we will probably go for Survivor in every single piece. There is one rune that gives -1 physical damage taken, which might be worth considering. And there is, I think, War Knight's insignia that is also worth considering. But to be honest, I didn't have a very hard look on them yet, so I will crunch the numbers and we'll come back to you with it. And as for our axe build, we will put Axe Mastery in our helmet, and then obviously we'll keep Vigor in one of those slots. And I probably will consider having one more armor slot on swap, so that we can have... Oops, I fucked up in RuneScape. So that we can have plus 2 strength on it, because we will have axe on our head, so probably plus strength to, I don't know, on gloves or something. Anyways. And then the rest will remain the same, so we don't have to switch out our whole gear. I think the rest will be fine. Now, we are going into Northlands. This is like the location to go. If we talk with Gate Guard Torin over here, he'll give us a quest to meet Ben Wolfson, and Ben will be able to tank some Char for us. That's a lower level strategy. We are lower level right now. I forgot to switch to Axe. Okay, let me get back to Ascalon real quick. And we will go fight some Oak Hearts for now, and maybe we will try to fight one pack of Char with our pet, with our imp, and with Ben. We might stand a chance if we don't get piled on. I came here to put points into Axe Mastery. Alright. We might stand a chance if we don't get piled on, because Ben is a ranger and he has access to his own troll, Anduent, which will keep his health regeneration high. So what we will do for now is an experimental run. There should be an iris flower here, and I have to start collecting those. And the plan for now is to go into Northlands. I will show you how you can get into there solo nowadays. And we will be going towards that one Char pack with Ben nearby. and we will be fighting every single O card along the way because they are very good experience at our level. Previously, in the past, you needed 2 people to get into Northlands. One stood up here near the lever, and the second person stood here near the gate. Let me show you somewhere here. Because once you clicked on the lever, you did not have enough time to run down and enter. But I think in 2018, they made a change that allowed people to run there solo. So what you do is either you click on lever and then click on gate guard Torin to automatically go towards him, or what I like to do is position your camera so that you can click on the little ground over there, you click on the lever, and then you click on the ground and your character will automatically run there. You don't have to click anything. The window to enter is still not too big, so you have to click on the ground relatively quickly, but you should get it, if not at the first, then at the second try. And as you can see, we are already in. Now you just gotta enter. The gate looks closed, but it will zone you into Northlands. And here we are, our new home for quite a long time. So, Northlands. This is a very hard area in Presearing, the hardest one, just because the Char packs that you can meet here come in 4s. There are a couple of packs of 3 Char, and I think 1 pack of 2 and 1 singular one maybe, I'm not really sure, but for sure 4, a couple packs of 3 and 1 pack of 2. So we will be testing those. And we will be testing 1 pack of 4 with Ben at our disposal. Ben will probably die during tanking, but that's what he is for. Once we zone out of this map, he will be respawned. There's a phone going off in the background. Alright, and we have to start collecting those red iris flowers because we need 50 for the helmet and we need 50 for the equipment pack, so we gotta start collecting real fast. And then we need 50 more for our second helmet for our different build, and then we need 25 for each Nick gift, so we need a lot of flowers. Thankfully in Northlands it's pretty easy to collect them since we are exploring this place pretty extensively. For now, at this level, I am exploring the place thoroughly because I want to fight O cards. Once you're a higher level, you pretty much just rush straight to Char and you go this way. And the place has a Char altar down there. Somewhere along this line, maybe, somewhere here. And at the altar there are 4 Char Bosses, which drop the best loot in the area, including a green bag with 10 slots, which is the only bag you can get in Presearing, I'm pretty sure. And you have 2 bag slots, so that's a lot of your bag space. And they can drop a Char salvage kit, which will allow you to salvage any runes or insignias that can drop in this area only from Char, and then put it in your armor to get a lot of health or stats, attributes, whatever you want. As I mentioned before, one thing to remember with runes is you cannot use runes from other professions, so don't spend a lot of gold on, for example, if you have a secondary elementalist, don't spend a lot of gold on fire magic because it's very expensive and you will not be able to use it unless elementalist is your primary profession. There are also weapon modifiers that can drop here if we get a purple weapon or a shield, because shields also count as weapons in my mental shortcut or abbreviation. And the focus items, artifacts, and they can drop very useful mods. Now there are 3 types of mods. There is a prefix, there is a suffix, and there is an inherent mod. and I will be talking about them after we do this little pack with Ben. Also, small tidbit, only hidden stashes in the Northlands can drop gold as far as I know. Other ones just drop items. Alright, so Ben will not go by himself, and I do not have a bow right now to pull from long range, so we will prepare, and I will be ready to map out if we get overwhelmed. I will be pulling them like this, and hopefully my pet and imp will be able to take care of them. And our imp is dead already. Thankfully, oh, and everybody's dead, so I gotta teleport out, and that's how it goes. So it doesn't look like we can finish the Char pack for now. We were pretty close, because if we took out that one more melee Char, we probably could have finished them because they were 2 chaots. The worst ones for now at this low level are shamans, because they will drag the fight so much by healing other Char that we might just not be able to finish it and die. Or hunters, because they have the highest damage they can deal, and I just will get into habit of spamming the /deaths macro to check if I died during mapping out, because if we can, why not preserve that survivor title for now? It's not a priority, but who knows, maybe we will get it. Alright, I think I was talking about mods and the prefixes, suffixes, and the inherent mods. So for example, if we drop an axe, it can have up to 3 modifiers on it. One of them is an inherent modifier, an example being plus 14% damage if your health is above 50. It does not give the axe any special part of the name, that's why it's inherent. You cannot salvage it, and the axe, for example, if it's a sickle, it will stay named sickle. It will just be purple in color and will have this mod. I think 14% while health above 50 is a very, very good mod, inherent, and one to strive for. Now, when it comes to prefixes or suffixes, they add a special part of the name to the weapon, or a shield, or a focus. And prefix comes before the name, and suffix comes after the name. So I think Furious is one mod you can get on a weapon that gives you a chance to double your adrenaline gain. And for example, Fortitude is one mod you can get on a weapon that increases your total health. So for example, we could get a sickle that would be Furious Sickle of Fortitude. Furious would be the prefix, increasing our adrenaline gain. Of Fortitude would be a suffix, increasing our health, and it could also get an inherent mod, for example, increasing our damage by some amount if our health is over 50%. That would be a pretty good weapon. And the most expensive mod you can get here for martial weapons, being warrior weapons and the bow, is Char Slaying, because it gives increased damage, especially only to Char, and since that's the creature we are hunting the most in Presearing, or you could say exclusively, or even these are in the highest demands, and the highest it goes is plus 18%. So finding plus 18% Char Slaying for a bow, for example, or an axe is a fantastic find. It can also spawn on a staff, but then it's pretty much worthless because the Char Slaying part will only apply to normal attack damage you deal with the staff and not to the spells you cast, which is a common misconception. And since spellcasters who use staves want to cast their spells, that mod will not be as good, then probably Fortitude would be better, or +2. Attribute, like plus a chance for +1 to fire spells, is also a very valuable mod. And as I said before, some mods cannot be salvaged. The inherent mods cannot be salvaged because the prefixes and suffixes can, using the Char kit, but the inherent mods cannot, which means if it comes with the weapon, it comes with the weapon, and if it doesn't, then, well, there's no way to get it. Shields and wands have a chance to spawn with 2 inherent modifiers. They cannot get any prefixes or suffixes, but they can drop with 2, and 2 useful mods on a wand is probably the most expensive you can get in Presearing. If you can get, for example, 2 mods that help your fire spells on a wand, then you are golden. That also applies to focus. Then you're pretty much set for life if you get a wand or a focus improving your fire magic, especially a focus. If it's also perfect +2 energy, then I don't think you can get enough black dice to fit in a single trade screen for that. Which I might be overhyping this a little bit, but I really think. And we were supposed to leave those Char alone. As you can see, we are getting piled on because it's shamans and hunters, which is probably the hardest group you can get. And our imp is getting obliterated, so we will have to wait because we have summoning sickness. Huge misplay on my part, but I was trying to commentate and I kind of zoned out and played a little bit on autopilot. So since Ben survived, I think, Ben is here, this is actually a good opportunity because we can now hunt around for some oak cards, get some levels, and when the summoning sickness runs out in like 6 to 7 minutes based on the bar, we will be able to maybe tackle the one smaller group of Char with Ben and get some pretty good experience from that. So that is, of course, if we can get him past the other Char group, this one. It's all hypothetical, and if he doesn't make it, then oh well, it happens. We can go ahead, and if we can sneak past those Char, there are a lot of O cards here that will get us a lot of XP that we want. If you look at the map, there is a group of Char that are coming from here. We want to get out of their way, and they will go into this little ruin over here. And when they pass, that will be our cue to go. I think now there's a Blade Storm coming out, and now we can maybe sneak through here. We did it. Alright, so that was everything we wanted. Now we are golden to explore this place. Kill some O cards, kill some random Growl groups, because they will come back and patrol and bite us in the ass later on, so it's just easier to deal with them now. And maybe find smaller Char packs to take on with Ben once we get our imp going. Score improved save value. There's one or two actually O cards over there, so we will wait for the Char to pass and get them. Every time there is a spot where 1 or 2 O cards can spawn, it's what I said, 1 or 2 O cards. There are very rarely spawns that are set for always 2 O cards. Sometimes you can get 1 and sometimes you can get 2. I will actually pick this longbow and we will make a second weapon set when I find a chance. Just quickly wanna get rid of those O cards before Char arrive. And we will use the longbow to pull from a distance. It's better than pulling with our face, because we don't have any ranged ability right now, and longbows have the highest range out of all the weapons. Let's toggle weapon set 2 and put our longbow in here so we can pull with it, and you can easily swap like so. Okay. There are some O cards over here. I will equip my bow just to showcase how to pull. Imagine this O card is a pack of Char. There is a heal here, so we might not be able to pull him. So let's circle a little bit so that we miss the heal. And you just attack it from the range and go back. Alright, this one didn't like to move too much, but that's generally how you do it. Pro cards, I don't think you should have any trouble fighting them, so you don't really have to pull them. But for Char, it is a very useful tool. You might be also wondering why the warrior-ranger combination is considered good. Actually, as I mentioned before, it's generally ranger-warrior, but there is not too much of a difference unless you want to min-max your character by which class you should go first. So if you're not too into Presearing, you might think that warrior and ranger don't really fit together because you cannot use a bow and warrior weapons at the same time, so it's just a waste of secondary profession. Just go something like monk and get better healing. But actually you get secondary warrior as a ranger for one simple purpose, and that is to get access to frenzy. Getting double damage back sucks a lot, but the 33% attack speed is very, very, very nice for Char clearing. And if you're level 20 with a Vanguard Initiate on you, you shouldn't have too much trouble dispatching the Char packs. We will skip this one because it's 4, it has Hunters and Shamans, and we do not like that. But for example, this pack has 2 melee ones and 1 Necromancer, so I will be summoning my Imp and we can go. Let's hope that our Imp does not die. Alright, and now we just finish up this one last Char, and we are good. Actually, our pet is close to dying, so I will heal it real quick. I might sound stupid, but I was kinda hoping it would die for a second because I wanted to showcase one pretty cool thing about Presearing. In post, if your pet dies, you get blacked out from your spells for a couple seconds. You cannot use any of those, which makes pets pretty useless, if maybe very niche for post-searing. But in Presearing you do not get that blackout effect, nothing really happens, so you can happily use them as your meat shields. And no repercussions are there if they die, and you can easily revive them with comfort. Animal. Actually, your pets will pretty quickly gain more than 20, will have more than 200 health, which would mean that 20 is not their 10%. So it's actually more healing to just resurrect them than to heal them if you put no points into Beast Mastery. So a little tidbit for you, you get more pet health out of your 5 mana if you just let them die and then resurrect them. Also, a little bit of a bonus effect would be causing Char to run from your pet to you and then back to your pet after you resurrect it, so they're not attacking anything while they are running. I'm gonna try to let this 4 Char pack pass, and we will try to pull these 2 Blade Storms. It's not really efficient to try and solo Char at this point, but it's an adventure, you could say. And even not too good of a drop would be beneficial for us at this point. But we gotta rush because there are other Char coming. So that might have been a mistake. No, looks like we made it just in time. Alright, I think that's all of the Char hunting we could do at this point. Other packs are simply just too strong for us to deal with at this moment. Maybe we'll find one more pack of 2 to dispatch and then we will reset. At higher levels, especially at 10+, you can generally solo the whole area. And what is really cool about that is that you can start fighting those bosses and get some good loot. We have 1 pack of 2 over here. Let's pull. Sometimes if you're not careful, you will put the boss to, and as you can see, the pack of 4 is coming, so I think that's the end for us in here. Snagged 1 last kill, and let's teleport back to Ascalon. When we're doing Char runs, you should really get into habit of selling your stuff after every run, because it's very easy to get your inventory filled up quickly during one of those runs, and there's a lot of stuff you might want to keep. So it's better to have as many slots open as possible, because you can get pretty much nothing one run, pretty much nothing the second run, and then when you do a third run, you suddenly get like 10 or something items, and every slot counts. Especially if you're at the stage when you can do bosses, then getting a bag or a Char kit, one of those drops that you want to keep. It would suck to have to drop something else for it. Okay. And also I have to remember to pick up those iris flowers. We're at 18, so we're not going at a high pace. There is a farming method for iris flowers. It's generally not the most efficient use of your time, but I might run it once or twice just because I enjoy it and to showcase more of what you can do in the area. It starts at Ashford Abbey, and there is either you can repeatedly go for 1 flower, which is faster flowers per hour but a lot more boring, or you can do the 5 flower run, which is slightly slower than the 1 flower run but a lot more interesting, and you can fight some other monsters along the way, and get some drops. Also messaged that if by any chance somebody is watching this live, then you should not hesitate to talk. It's a lot easier and honestly a lot more fun just to stream and be able to talk with people. That is mostly the reason why I wanted to do it. Half of it is wanting to showcase leveling in Presearing and just showcase cool stuff about this area, and the other is just having people to talk with about it, because none of my IRL friends are avid Presearing players. They know something about Guild Wars, having played them, but they mostly play in post, and I just don't have many people to share my passion with. So if you have any questions or you want to talk about something, doesn't really have to even be Guild Wars, do not hesitate to do so. And if you're watching this later on as a recording and not as a live stream, make sure to leave a comment, because not to sound sad or anything, but I don't get many notifications, and it's always a very, very happy feeling when somebody asks a question or just writes something very enjoyable. Yes. I think since this run will not give us a full level anyways, we might wanna, if the group over there by Ben is doable, we might wanna do another attempt at them, just because probably I will have to do one more run for level 8 anyways. And as you can see, it's gotten into a habit of mine, especially on my main. I spam the /devs a lot, even when I know I didn't die. I just need that confirmation from the game. And on my main I have one death when I disconnected, and it still scares me when I see that you have died one time, even though I know it was months ago. Oh, hello Westminster student, welcome back. Thank you for the kind words, and if you ever decide that you really want to try Guild Wars again, shoot me a message. I would be up for some char runs if you would be interested, or if not, then have the best time in the game. And since you're here, I just wanted to ask, because you know me from RuneScape Classic content, I wanted to ask if you still play RuneScape Classic on one of the servers now, or did you quit the game together with servers closing, the official Jagex servers? The attempt is going good so far. I think we will be able to get this one in the bag. Alright, a lot of experience. 120 I think it was per each char. Maybe 100 from the shaman, because I know they are lower levels than anyone else. So that was 460 XP, if my math is correct, real quick, and that definitely could have been noticed on the green bar over here. You played RSC, the official one, from 2001 until close. I gotta be honest, I played the official RSC very little, and I did bot on it. Not on my current character though, so I'm not afraid of a ban because this character did not bot, even on RSC. But when I started playing RSC the proper way, it was on a private server, and it was then when I fell in love with the game for real. Before it was just like, oh, I want to max in every single RuneScape, so let's just bot this one because I can't be bothered. And now I really love RuneScape Classic. Our imp is getting blasted, and it's dead now, so we might not be able to finish this pack of Char. Yeah, seems like the shamans really got the best of us. So we have to teleport out, which sucks because we were pretty close to finishing that one off. Oh well, it happens. So you play on OpenRSC as well, that's fantastic. I played on Cabbage a little, now I play on the Preservation server, but yeah, it's great to know that we play on the same server. Yes, I did use Apos. To be honest, I'm not too proud of botting on Classic, even though it's something like you can say, everybody did it. But I was a little ashamed when I started playing RSC manually, properly on a private server, and I just didn't know how to get Drainer because the bot even had auto walking scripts to get into places, and I didn't know where Drainer was or anything. I felt like a fraud, to be honest. Yeah. I did get 99 fishing and cooking on there, though. Which I can't say I have any 99s on the private server. You really... The worst part for me about RuneScape Classic is the constant clicking and the wrist destroying. It's just... Sometimes when I know I have to get a couple crafting levels, I postpone it as long as I can because, oh my god. So, did you play on the original RuneScape Classic manually, or did you bot as well? Or did you do both? Is the very, very typical urge to start a new character in any game is just sometimes too strong. And who knows, maybe the one thing we want to try out, like, for example, area locked or some other type of restriction, will make us stick to the game for longer. And sometimes those are just one evening projects. I remember we talked about New World recently, and out of curiosity, I went to the New World subreddit today, and apparently there is a infinite gold glitch or duplication glitch going on at the moment. So, talk about timing when we discuss New World bags. There is apparently like 8 million gold in the economy right now, or something. Maybe it's 8 billion. And the prices are going mad. If we look at this char pack, it's, as I said before, hunters and shamans is what we want to avoid, so we'll not even be starting with this one. One O card might be the difference between us hitting level 8 here or not. 60 for XP, still getting those huge XP drops. It makes me feel good. At level 20, which will hit eventually, you get 0 from everything, or you can grind monsters for plus 16, and it really sucks. Invulnerability bug. That doesn't sound too good. I would say that, especially with the gold bug, but the invulnerability one, maybe even so, if you can solo some stuff. I would say that a rollback would be necessary, but yeah, I think so. Let's see if we can sneak this time. Should make it. Yes, we did not pull the char. So we should be hitting level 8 this run. So the honeymoon phase for New World is over, and you are waiting for Amazon Studios to take some real action before, let's say, committing to the game. Yeah, that's the thing. Blizzard said they will ban exploiters too, but there is a mantra at Blizzard Games which is exploit early, exploit often, and that's the case because they are known not to be too heavy with the bans, and when they do ban you, it's for the most unexpected stuff. So I took advantage of some crazy glitches when I played free-to-play, and I never got banned for it. I saw a picture on the subreddit there referencing what you just said, that level 15 to 50 has been the same content. And it was a picture of a horse with its back drawn pretty good, and then the closer you get to the front of the horse, it gets more drawn like a child would draw it. And it was got from the back, like level 1 to the front, level 60, that the experience is just worse and worse. Hard to describe with words, and I don't know how to showcase my browser in the stream because for some reason my browser would not record, so you just have to take my word for the picture. So, if you needed a change of scenery, do you have a game in mind that you wanna go to, or maybe a break from games for a while altogether? This scroll over here, after you pull it, it keeps running away. And I think the group he belongs to is glitched because he runs so far away from his group. And you can see if you pull him, then his group of 2 remaining runs back to you. And I don't think I ever seen that with any other pack in Guild Wars, so it might be a little bugged over here. Just spawning him far away, and he'll stand there until you pull him. And then he'll just start running back because, oh shit, my mates aren't here. Gotta get back to them. And then he just dies running, and his mates come and they die too. We're still using this axe, which is pretty good for damage, but after we start killing Char, we should get an upgrade relatively soon, or at least I hope so. I'm not too versed with playing warrior and warrior drops, but this is kind of a low level weapon. The damage is not too great, and just plus 5 health is not enough. So I'm hoping that maybe if we start killing this single Char here, or maybe we will be able to tackle on the boss. We might get lucky with some early useful drop that will speed up this process considerably. We just have to tuck ourselves into this little hill over here, and hopefully our pet will not pull anything. We will not be doing anything to stop them, and that's easy 120 experience. And after the other Char leave, we will be pulling this monster here. The one in blue, Blaze Bloodbane, can heal, can walk up to him and heal. So if he does that, then we will not be able to do this boss, but maybe we will be lucky. And before that, I will try to pull this pack of 2 because his protecting patrol, let's say, just moved, so we might be able to pull them. And they should be 240 experience, which will put us right barely to level up. this patrol that comes over here has a longer route than this one. So after they leave, we will have quite a bit of time to pull this front boss easily. And it would be pretty cool to hit level 8 while also killing the boss. So I hope it all works out. He does deal quite a bit of damage though, so I hope we will not be fried in one hit. Let's see. I'll make my pet heal so he doesn't run off and pull the other 4-pack, and see if we can pull him over here. Alright, go now. And we managed to also get damaged quite a lot straight after leveling up, which should heal us, so it might have been that this single level up saved us from losing our survivor for now. Let's just pump it all to strength, because why not? These are hunters, which we don't like. These are hunters, which we don't like. And I don't think we can kill those ones, so I think we have to reset. And that's what we will be doing up until level 10. Just to speed it up a little, we will pick up a quest here at Presearing called Char at the Gate. And what that will do is spawn an additional 4 Char that are slightly lower level right before the gate to Northlands. And we will have this whole escort helping us deal with them. So that will be a little additional experience every run. I just hope that I will not spaz out and turn in this quest, because I have done it in the past and it's very annoying. Because you first lose out on the Char at the gate because you cannot pick this up the quest up anymore and do it. And second off, you lose out on 200 XP at level 16, which, if you remember, is when we want to do all the quests we can. You asked all your friends if they knew what Presearing was, and they had no idea. Can you explain it a bit? So, in Guild Wars 1, Presearing is an area where you start the game in one of the 3 campaigns. The first one, which is Prefixes. When you create a role-playing character, because PvP characters are a different game type of character, let's say. If you create a role-playing character, you choose between one out of the 3 campaigns, and if you choose Prefixes, the first one, then your character starts in Presearing. Oh, it looks like all of your messages just appeared at the same time. So I'll get into the other ones real quick. Just let me finish this explaining what Presearing is. And this is meant to be a tutorial area for the first campaign. You're supposed to learn the basics of the game, and it will also kick off the premise of the entire campaign, the plot of the game, which is that the whole area you see here, beautiful autumn day, will actually be destroyed by the Char we just fought at the altar. If you complete the very, very brief and short quest line here, then the Char, you see a quest cutscene where the Char that we can kill right now, but that's a plot armor, you know. They use that little altar they have there to cast a rain of fire and destroy the northern wall, which is this huge thing you can see here, something like Chinese Great Wall, but it separates the lands of humans, the lands of Ascalon, from the lands of Char, which are invading, and it destroys the wall, and Char just turned this whole area into like a desolate, burned down place, and Ascalon becomes pretty much dead, and this whole scenery, nice scenery you see here, will become like a desert with spontaneous fires, etc. Maybe not desert, I just can't think of a word now, but that's what Presearing is. It's an intro / tutorial to a campaign, and since it plays a lot differently than what you would normally do in Guild Wars, some people decide to stay here, because if you don't complete the quests that get you out of here, then you can stay forever, and there's quite a bit to do here too. You also, if you hit level 20, you get a title called Legendary Defender of Ascalon, and that's actually the name. In the name of the stream, it says LDoA Get Together, which is let's get together. Let's get the Legendary Defender of Ascalon together. In the past, it was not possible to get this level without using something called death leveling, which meant dying to monsters over and over so they leveled up on you, and when they got to a certain level, then you could start getting XP from them, and it was an extremely long process. You would have to leave your computer overnight for your character to die and respawn at a shrine near monsters, and then they would level up to a level where you could get some XP from them and then do the same thing every night. So it's like me fighting a pack of monsters, but you get one pack every night and that's it. So it was an extremely long process, and the title was very prestigious. Now, I think in 2010, they added Vanguard Quests, which are essentially daily quests that give you 1000 experience per completion, and they spawn monsters that are higher level. They scale to your level, which means getting Legendary Defender is doable for everyone now without much commitment, and it can be done in like, I think the speedrun is something like 16 hours, but if you enjoy yourself and you don't do everything max efficiency, I think you can really just do it maybe in less than a month, playing very casually. And to look at your comment, the colors and the music in this area is definitely my favorite in the entire gaming landscape. I have a thing for these little tutorial areas of games like Rookguard for Tibia and Presearing for Guild Wars, and I love it so much that it made me name my character in RuneScape and then in World of Warcraft just Presearing, because God, I just love this area so much. It might be because autumn is my favorite time of the year. In Poland, where I'm from, we get these golden leaves, and it basically looks like Presearing here now. So it makes me fall in love with this area even more. Reminds me of the great places in the forest that I can find. Over here. Hello, Elpe. Welcome. And as I said, all of your messages, Westminster, showed up at the same time, so let me read up. You're trying Fallout 76? Oh, it's free right now. So, when Fallout 76 came out, it was a big shit show, but I've heard it went the same road as New Man's Sky, that they actually put a lot of work into it, and now it's a pretty good game. So, I still had Fallout 4 to finish, and then I wanted to try out Fallout 3 in my spare time, but maybe a long time down the road I would want to try out 76 too. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it recently. So you said that you mostly just absorb the atmosphere, but if you spend some more time with the game, definitely let me know, because I just want to know if what I'm hearing is just like please from the fans, to maybe if we say that the game's good, there will be some people playing please game's dead, or is it actually good? Movies from World of Warcraft. So I took a little break from World of Warcraft for now, after the, let's say, allegations and just a lot of problems I had with the game, but I will be returning for Season of Mastery and probably shortly before Season of Mastery for Classic. I will come back to finish my Tildrassil logged elf character, just do all the quests, so I have that project finished. I can publish the finale and move on to Season of Mastery, where I will be probably playing a druid and doing the hardcore thing that they're finally making official. Alright, let's summon our imp and pool here. So far so good. Looks like everything's staying alive. Maybe Ben is getting whooped. Okay. Ben, please survive and we will have a good run this time. Fantastic. Okay, I had to focus for a second. Let me read the chat. Fallout 76 is very active right now. Made a friend last night and we went on some adventures. I'd be happy to play whenever you get around to it. Oh, make sure not to wait on me, because I'm sure that would be very far down the road. But I was just interested if I should make a mental note of I want to play this game and it's not just fluke, let's say. But if you're saying that it's active and did you enjoy the adventure you had yesterday, or... Yeah, that sounds right. Although I have noticed a trend, for me at least, that I am not really interested in many games anymore. It seems like I found the ones that I really enjoy, and my list of the games to try used to just go on and on and on and just keep expanding, but lately it started shrinking. So maybe I actually will get down to playing it, even if it's in 2028, and not just say that I will and then never do. What is this pack? 1 melee, 2 melees, Necro, and Chaos. We should be able to take this one head on with Ben if everything goes well. Oh, so you enjoyed this as well. Alright, so that's definitely an important feedback I could use now. If the game's active, that says one thing, but if I get straight up answer that somebody enjoyed playing it, then I'm pretty much sold. Also, my friends wanted me to get into Path of Exile. I'm not sure if I would enjoy that game. Some of the features sound a little off, but maybe. I'm getting decently close to maxing on old school, and when I do, I have a lot of collection stuff to do, and that sounds like a lot of AFKing, so maybe that will be the time to get into New World, and then later on finish Fallout games, and then maybe try a little bit Path of Exile, and then should I keep going? Good night, good night. So, one feature of Guild Wars is that it bullies you for how much you played. But you cannot get the best of me in Guild Wars. I am having fun, and 2 hours is not that much. I will not be taking a break, thank you. Shaman Hunter already, that disqualifies this pack, so let's move on. But I'm glad we're at the point with our character that we can start taking some Char 4 groups head on. If we played any other character, maybe except Monk, we can do that a lot earlier, because if you abuse the terrain, you can cast spells over it, while Chars cannot fight back. And then you can get them cleared far easier, and then you level up faster, and then you can fight them properly. But I've heard that Warrior at 20 is so tanky that we should not have any problems just walking into enemies. So I certainly cannot wait for that. For now we are too weak though. The buff I spoke of before, the Vanguard Initiate, scales at levels 10, 13 and 17, and you can definitely feel the difference when you get into a higher armor bracket versus these normal Char. So if we get it at level 10, we should feel a small difference, but then at level 13, or was it 14? I can't remember now. I think it might have been 14. You really start feeling a noticeable, huge difference in power, or rather tankiness, against these Char. But then sadly, level 14 is the moment where you slowly wanna stop doing Char runs and start doing other stuff to level up. So that sucks a little bit. Many people only do Presearing for the title, for the Legendary Defender of Ascalon, just so they can have it in post-searing and then they leave, because it's one title easier to get the God Walking Among Mere Mortals title, which requires you to max, I think it's 30, so it's one title easier. Plus it's also a little bit of a flex to have a Presearing only title in post. But there is also this fantastic community of people that just play here permanently, and I am one of them. Not to toot on my own horn that I'm fantastic or anything, I'm just saying. And there's really a lot to do here. Well, maybe a little less comparing to obviously playing the game properly. Excuse me. Comparing to playing the game properly, but there are a couple of mini games. Char farming is, you can do it endlessly and still not get any very expensive good drops, so best of luck with that. That's the loot roulette that gets everybody hooked. Then there is the huge grind that you could partake to get rank 3 survivor, which one mistake can wipe all that out, so that's one fun grind. And I think I said on the first stream that only like 3 people have it now, so that is a very elite group of gamers you would be joining if you partake into that grind. If you do just the daily quest in a relatively safe way for the 1000 experience every day, that's like 5 years or something. If you do bandits and your plane doesn't just melt from all the grind and all the boredom, repetitiveness, then you can do it faster. But then again, only some professions can do it very fast, like mesmers, and other professions like my main is ranger / monk, and I do not have good DPS against bandits in the slightest, so that's why I stick to just doing the daily quest every day, and it lets me enjoy the game. During other time before the stream, I just did my quest of the day for my 1000 XP, and I moved on to this warrior. And I also picked up my Nick gift of the day on my main and on my alt, and that's why you don't see me do it on this character. Looks like our pack of 3 might be a little hard to deal with because it's 2 hunters and 1 shaman, but I will try anyways. As you can see, we are getting really hit over here. I will start to try dodging. Let's try to go in. Oh, and the Ben just died, so... And so will we in a second, looks like. So I will teleport out and let's see if we lost that survivor status while I was teleporting. No, we're still 0 deaths. So that's pretty good. I think I will go for one more run maybe. And if you'll excuse me for just a second, I will get some water. Yes, Hydro Homies represent. There is one other game that I play. It's an idle game called Shakes and Fidget. And when I finally managed to convince my fiancée and some of my friends to play with me, our guild was also called Hydro Homies. So, but that didn't last long. I think they played for a year, which was still very, very long and very surprising that they lasted that long. And then the guild died. I am pressing Alt right now to find my red iris flower. There it is. As you can see, it has no regard for how it should grow, and it also grows on concrete, but that is fine with me. The worst part is that it sometimes can spawn across the border here, somewhere here, and if you remember, this is the gate we are using to zone into that area, so while you're running to get it, you would get zoned in and it would disappear, and there is no way to get it, which it's tease. And I need my... I forgot to abandon this quest. So yes, let's just go back, because why not? So what you should do if you're good at this game and not like me, after teleporting to Ascalon, you abandon Char at the gate. Preferably abandon before you get to Rurik, because you will just turn it in out of habit at some point, because it's such an autopilot if you do it a lot. And then always make sure, even if you know that this is not complete quest, this is take quest. And now that we have this quest, we can go out and adventure. Just doing this little char pack outside and teleporting back is technically the fastest experience up to level 9, but it's pretty boring, so I don't think I will do this a lot. Maybe this one run, just so we get a little boost in experience and I can showcase how this works. No, I'm not playing on Steam. I have the game just the regular client. And actually I had to change my game size window to a pretty uncomfortable one, for me at least, just so it doesn't look all stretched and wonky. I usually play it on like a square, and oh, looks like I broke Arnold. Maybe I will... Okay, good enough. I usually play it on like a square, and I had to cut it down so it's a smaller window just so it looks properly in OBS. It still looks stretched and not how I want it, but if I made it completely proper to look good on stream, then I would be playing on an absolute horrendous size window, and I have to try to get a little compromise between how it looks for the stream and how it looks for me. So now after you kill those Char, you just teleport back, as I said. Let's abandon and pick up. Yeah, for RuneScape and RuneScape Classic especially as well. Oh, one cool tidbit: if you watched stream 1, the initial cutscene when you create the character, it shows a fight between Char and humans, and you can actually watch it here. This is the only outpost in the entire game where you can actually click and see fighting NPCs, and there are reports of people dying here when the game was in its early versions, and you cannot otherwise die in an outpost. I don't know what happened to them after they died, but apparently you could die here. Yes, that's actually one of the biggest complaints people have with Guild Wars, that it's extremely expensive still after all those years. ArenaNet will not change its price. There are some sales, but very, very, very sporadically. Usually during Guild Wars' birthday, I think. So buying the game is still, you know, a hefty price. You don't have to pay any subscription though, so that's a plus, but I would have a hard time just convincing my friends to play the game if they had to drop such a big amount for the game in the first place. It also sucks because sometimes I want to make alt accounts for gifts, etc., and I just cannot explain paying for the game I already own. Yeah, so if you're looking at the price on Steam, then it will probably be similar at every other platform. If you don't find a platform where the game is considerably cheaper, and you can find sometimes other platforms have their own sales, then I think Steam is good enough. I still use my CD key from when I was a kid, and I bought the game in a store, and I downloaded the client from the official site. So that's what I do. If you're buying the game, just make sure you buy the Game of the Year edition, so you get access to the bonus stuff like this Fire Imp and some weapons and armor. If you wanna try Presearing even briefly, then the bonus items are best in slot by far. So I had to pay extra for those. Yeah, the discs wouldn't help you very much, but the CD keys definitely would, because downloading the client is the easy part, but having an account is what you have to pay for. I lately did renovation of my childhood room at my mom's house, and I threw out all the discs of Guild Wars and other games, but I kept the manuals and I still have them here somewhere. I have a thing for game manuals. It's just reminiscent of the school feeling when you bought a game at the game store and you were driving home back with your parents and you were sitting at your back seat and you were browsing the game manual, just couldn't wait to play it. Yes, that's very reminiscent for me. Jeremy Soule, same composer as Guild Wars for Neverwinter Nights. So I never played Neverwinter Nights. I gotta say, I love Jeremy Soule's music. Maybe not him as a person. He had a lot of shady stuff come out in recent years, and I just cannot, in pure intention, say I support him in any way. But even for as much as he was a bad guy, he does have a talent for making music. I think he also composed the soundtrack for Skyrim. Oh, so you know the stuff. All right. Yeah. Dude definitely has a lot of talent. The music just can invoke so many emotions so fast. And seems like effortlessly. For me, since I didn't play Neverwinter Nights or Skyrim, it always is the Presearing music for Guild Wars. I wonder if after the allegations came to light, he will be composing music for further parts of Elder Scroll games too. All right. So they did find some other composer who also is doing a good job. So that's good to hear. I was pretty close to trying out Elder Scrolls Online at one point. I was in some kind of an MMO rut and I just didn't have anything to play. And I think I was AFKing something on RuneScape that was taking a lot of time. Like, I think I was doing agility maybe this summer. And I didn't play it because it's buy to play and I wasn't hyped on it enough. But I heard some good things about the game, especially about the quest lines, that it's really good. And I also heard that combat's not too bad, but that doesn't deter me very much because I'm not too much of a combat in MMOs person. And you can see that by me enjoying RuneScape Classic and Old School. Combat's not really the adrenaline pumping type. Also, it's a subscription game, so that probably means I will never play it. I just have enough subscriptions as it is at this moment. that was a weird lag. I'm really glad you're enjoying it, even though I would say it's a very niche type of content. Guild Wars nowadays, and especially confining it to a small area that is Presearing. But if I wanted to become famous or make money off of it, I would have played whatever the new hype is. Probably New World or like something else. But I already know that I'm not gonna, rush to be famous or anything. I would rather play something that I enjoy. So I'm really glad that there are people that enjoy this as well. Second pack just moved, so let's... Oh shit, it's shamans and hunters. Bad idea. Bad idea. But they are grouped up, so maybe the imp will... I hope we did not just die, because that was enough HP to get us one shot. Nah, still 0 deaths. And we got kicked into District 2. That is not a too common occurrence in Presearing. As you can see, there's nobody here because District 1 is full. We can still move there. And there should be a lot of people. Oh, I actually very rarely, sporadically advertise my content on Reddit because I know that it can be very annoying to go on Reddit, try to read some stuff, and there's just post after post of people promoting their content. But I assumed that RuneScape Classic subreddit is not very active, that it would be considered spam. And also, I decided to make sure that it's just one post, and if somebody enjoys the videos, they would stay, and if they don't, then they can be sure that there will be no more spamming. Yeah, I was hoping that... Well, I heard there's still a lot of people that play Classic on various private servers like Cabbage or Preservation, or I think there's a couple more. Some of them even let you play on mobile. Imagine that. Anyways, I was hoping there would be more of a player base sharing their advancements, their adventures, quests they did, etc. But it seems to be more concerned with updates. Oh, Rurik killing those Char too fast for us to get XP, it looks like. So if I could change one thing about the current RuneScape Classic climate, as small as it could be, is I would encourage people to post their accomplishments more. And maybe if I do something cool in Classic, I will just make a post about it. Just regular post, you know, no advertisement, no anything, no mention of, hey, I'm trying to make YouTube videos here. Just showcase, hey dudes, just hit 1000 total level, or hey lads, I just got my Dragon Med helm. I think that would be very epic. I still did not get any rare items in Classic, and I feel pumped to get one, like a Dragon Med Helm or a Shield Half. That would be very cool. OpenRSC's Android also? Yes, so that's probably why I didn't know much about playing it on mobile, because I have iOS. Yeah, it seems like the game doesn't attract many people anymore, and the fact that it's on private servers certainly does not help. I mean, there's no alternative. The official... Fucking hell, dude. Alright. The official one is closed, but... I gotta say, it deterred me a little too. I was always strongly opposed to private servers in games, and I decided to keep RuneScape Classic as an exception because there's literally no way to play it other than private servers. But I think many people still hold that belief that private server is bad, and they won't try out the game just because it's on there. Good group of dedicated... Oh, that is a lot of groups. Of dedicated preservation players. You don't know how tight they are. So I only know Orbrun, and other people I know from just talking to them in game or on Discord very, very sporadically. But I talked to Orbrun a little bit more, and I think he's rank 1. And he's also playing as an unofficial Ironman, so that's crazy. And he's really cool. Or she now, I think. Run is a she now. So sorry if you're watching this ever, Orby. I did not do it on purpose. And my cat is trying to drop my glass out of the desk. Please. I remember one situation with OpenRSC that some people tried to steer some trouble, and they found a way to dupe items, and that just straight up sucks, you know. There's always some people who want to destroy a good thing, and I can't ever seem to understand where they're coming from. But the RSC, OpenRSC crew quickly managed to fix the bug. It was on Cabbage. They flooded the auction house with... It might have been cannonballs. Cat, please. Hey. Okay. Ben died, that's why they switched on me, alright. You awful, awful cat. Yeah, it really does ruin the game. But to be transparent, as I said before, I did exploit a lot in free-to-play World of Warcraft. It was mostly for achievements, and we did share everything we found together on a forum. We just did not report it to Blizzard because they were never any exploits that would harm the economy or kill the fun of other players. It was only allowing our limited accounts to do some stuff that we wouldn't otherwise be able to. So it was more of a fun exploit than actual hurtful exploit. But if I know one thing about Blizzard is they are big fun police, and the game-breaking exploits or economy exploits can go rampant, but if there's any exploit that lets you have fun for a little while without repercussions, they really seem to fix that really quickly, so that's weird. But that's how it goes, I guess. I don't think we can kill Char anymore without Ben, so let's just focus on oak hearts for now. And I think this run will be my last one because it's getting pretty late and I have some stuff to do tomorrow. I have to get my car fixed and I have training in the morning. Oh, World of Warcraft has its classic servers running at the moment. So if you were ever interested in... it's highly opinionated, but let's say better version of World of Warcraft, I think classic is it. The current version is... you can't even call it a game anymore, it's more like a constant treadmill, and once you're done with one treadmill it's just another treadmill, so it's not really a game in my opinion, but of course you can argue that classic sucks as well. So if you were interested, then yeah, they have their old servers running now. Similar story as with old school RuneScape, basically community bullied the developers, but in RuneScape the Jagex seemed a lot more open to that. In Blizzard it looked like they were just prideful, and there was this famous thing that one of their developers said at BlizzCon when somebody asked about classic servers. He replied with, "You think you do, but you don't," which was, now that I think about it, if it was an intended ploy to just get the community excited for Classic by hating Blizzard, that is genius, but I just can't imagine it ever being like that, and it just seems like they were too prideful to admit that there might be some players who do not like their addition to the game over the years. Classic is very fun, very enjoyable. The community takes it to its logical conclusion, which is getting the faun out of the game, optimizing the faun out of the game. But to me, for Classic, the leveling is the best part, so you can do that without being worried too much about the community. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think they just... That's the human element where they just couldn't admit that maybe the changes they made over the years have made the game worse. My cat is going rampant today. Let's see if we can kill this pack of 3 Char. Alright, one down. Let's get the other ones. It would be perfect to get the Hunter first, but since my Imp focused the Chaot, I cannot give orders to my Imp, so let's just focus one of them and then get the other one down. And you might remember me mentioning earlier that the reason people go for Warrior in a bow build is Frenzy, and I don't seem to be using Frenzy at all, actually, and that's because at this point I am weaker than the Char, so getting double damage back would be a terrible idea, and later on, when I can tank a lot of damage, getting that 33% attack speed buff generally is worth it getting hit for double damage, because double damage is still relatively tankable for you. Alright, it would be really cool to be able to kill this boss again this time, so let's see if we can do it. Actually, if we look at the placement of the other 3 bosses, this time the monk boss, the healer boss, is closer to the other ones, so he will heal the elementalist boss, so we can just leave right now because there is no way we can kill him when he is being healed. Let's just leave while we still can and finish off some of those oak hearts. And as I said, I think this will be the last run for me today. So while I am cleaning some of those monsters back, cleaning up, let's say that thank you for watching a lot. Hopefully, if you watch this stream or if you're watching a future recording, you are enjoying my little road to Legendary Defender, even though I'm not going at it with a 100% efficient mindset, and we're taking our sweet time. Yes, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the future ones. In the next one, we will ideally hit level 10, and then the real fun begins, because we get the armor buff, and we will be able to switch to our bow build. And hopefully be able to start killing bosses and get some GG loot. Okay, that was the last one. So, once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.